I want to speak to a man now who knows President Kibaki all too well. He's a former Makueni MP and a former advisor to the president, and now the Makueni County Governor seat hopeful, Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us in studio. Let's start here. As I said, you've known the president for a long time. He came in at a time of great difficulty and challenges for the nation, economically, socially. But now, 10 years on, he exits leaving much the same climate. Is the Kenyan society any better 10 years on with Kibaki in power?
I think for me, what is more critical than even the infrastructure is the sense of freedom that when Kibaki came in became apparent. Because previously in our country, it was actually not easy for people to do their business without fear. In 2002, we had a different situation of a lot of freedom. I think also in terms of beginning to plan things in the country, like the Vision 2030, so that you actually work from planning, beginning to delegate things that need to be done, so that there isn't like one super leader explaining what must be done, and trusting people with the work that is to be done. And even if mistakes are done, the president saying that I'm responsible finally because I'm your leader. So
I'd love to hear of an instance where he's actually said, you know what, the bottom line is with me. But speaking about delegating and working with people, it seems that one of the things that is seen to have gone wrong with his administration was that he kept the so-called bad company, the people who were tarnished with scandals, be that as it may, maybe not convicted, but certainly serious allegations were brought against the likes of Amos Kimunya, Kiraitu, the late Mishuki, etc.
I think at some points when there were those allegations, people would vacate offices until some processes were conducted. And as a result, when whoever was investigating said that there was no wrongdoing or whatever, then they were asked to come back to work. But it is when I think one is in the business of leadership, of course there will be many things said about almost everybody, and it is up to the courts, it's up to Kenya Anti-Corruption Authority, it's up to transparency institutions to sort us out.
But would you agree that keeping that company tarnished his reputation? Because we're talking about his legacy now.
Well, I think his style is that when he employs you, he doesn't sack you easily. So you have to really prove that you are not worth working with him, and there are instances when some people have lost their jobs.
Do you think at all the president regrets his managing of the post-election violence, the political crisis that was there, and of course the security crisis? Because we did see him, of course, write this huge letter to the ICC that had not been requested, specifically on the issue of whether or not the Mungiki had a meeting in State House. Do you think he, one, regrets how he handled it, and two, do you think he believes that the ICC is after him?
I think in terms of the 2007-8 post-election violence, that is probably, in my estimation, the thing that really, the one most difficult things that happened. And I think as a president, you can say, I wish this didn't happen.
Did he ever say it to you? You're his advisor. Did he say it to you? You were his advisor.
Yes, I'm thinking. Not that he said it to me personally, but of course you watch people that you are close to. He didn't want, that kind of violence, to happen in his country during his watch. And when he had to take a hard decision, to share power, irrespective of whether, he had to do that, he decided that he had to, share power within the grand national coalition so that the country could be repaired, because the country was bigger than himself, and I'm sure there were people who didn't want him to share power at all.
And on the issue of the ICC, does he or does he not believe that the ICC is ultimately out to get him?
I don't think he believes that the ICC is ultimately wants to get at him, because he doesn't believe that there was wrongdoing on his part.
All right, I want to leave it there, and thank you for your time so much for coming in on KTN Prime. We certainly do appreciate it, Professor Kivutha Kibwana.